In this video, we are going to do a one-to-one arrangement map of Detlef's track Swagon. And the reason why I'm making this video right now is because I'm working on a track and I'm having trouble with the arrangement, but I feel like the Swagon track might give me some direction. And so what I want to do is just do a deep dive into the arrangement, really go deep into the arrangement. That way, when I go back to my track, I'll just have a really, really deep understanding of this arrangement, the way that it develops, the sounds that are being used, right? So the vertical arrangement, which is all the layering, and then the horizontal arrangement, which is the development of the track. Have just a really deep understanding of that, and I'll just be super in arrangement mode after going through this exercise, and I feel like it'll just create a lot of inspiration and a lot of ideas for when I move back to my track and just throw some ideas around. And so really I'm doing this to unstuck myself, okay? Because right now I'm kind of stuck on the arrangement in this track, and this is an exercise that I want to go through right now to help myself move forward in a way, but at the same time, really learn something and study a great track. This is just an awesome track. It's super simple, but there's just something special about it. And so going through the exercise might help me uncover what that is, and hopefully I can kind of create or recreate that specialness in my own track, okay? That's my hope, but at the very least, I'm going to learn something. So we are going to do a one-to-one arrangement, and I can't promise that this is going to be the smoothest video because I'm going to be doing this in real time, and so sometimes I just got to sit there and listen. And so I don't want to do a lot of post-editing, so I'll try my best to pay attention to you as I do this. But again, I am here to go through this track and learn something from it, so I'm going to be spending a lot of my focus and energy just paying attention, right? So let's go ahead and get started. Obviously, the reference track is right there. It's the Detlef track, and I'm just going to cycle, loop around the first 8 bars here, and literally just start creating MIDI tracks. And this is called a one-to-one arrangement map. I call it this because I'm literally creating a MIDI track for every single sound that I hear, one-to-one. If there's a sound that I hear, a new sound, I create a new MIDI track. And so basically, I'm going to recreate into the best of my ability what the track would look like in Detlef's computer, except there's no sounds in my track. It's all MIDI clips, okay? So this is a one-to-one arrangement map, and let's just get started. So here we go. Turn off the speakers. Cool. Cool. All right. So obviously we hear a kick. So let's get kick. There we go. And now, there's a cool little ring on top of this. So I'm just going to write cool ring. I'm just going to color this orange for now. Actually, red. I'm going to leave it orange. Doesn't matter. Here we go. All right, we also have a hat. And cool. And this is, let's just label it, right? The dimensional quality. So it's tight. And it's a little bit left. So we'll say left like 20. L20 actually. Because then that lets me know it's not totally left, just a little bit. All right, 50 would be the main value here. See, because in Ableton, when you go left, it's 50 left, 50 right. And so left 20 just refers to, it's about right there. All right. Just bring this down. And then there's two cool textures that I'm hearing, actually. So one of them is, there's a little bit of a noise that plays on the left-hand side of the stereo image when the kick plays. And then on the right-hand side, it almost sounds like a dove, like a hoo-hoo-hoo, like some kind of bird, like brrr. Watch. Brrr. So we're going to create tracks for that. So I'm just going to say effects here, and then it'll be noise left 50. And then we'll also do, I'm just going to call these effects. Not really sure what else to call them. Maybe they're part of the groove or the drums, but I'm just going to call them effects. And then so on the right, I'm just going to call this like dove bird noise. Kind of redundant, but that's what it sounds like to me. So we'll color these guys. And very subtle, interesting textural stuff. And obviously, there is that kind of big textural thing that happens down the middle on top of the kick. Like, so let's see, effects. You know what? So I'm just going to call it an effect. I was trying to think of what I should call it, but I don't know. I have no idea what to call this. So I'm just going to call it. It's not really noise, though. How can I describe it? Let's see. I'm just going to call it some kind of weird texture, right? Texture. I'm going to call it, it's just down the center. And just to help myself hear what it is, I'm going to actually draw in where it is. That way, I don't know why I did that. Here we go. So it kind of starts on the offbeat, actually. So, legato. So right around there, just on the offbeats. Okay, cool. So that's that. Go ahead and just this. Go like this, go like this, create those MIDI clips. I'm going to assign the colors. Cool. And then, of course, we have the clap, which is going to go above. I tried to stay, I'm actually very surprised that I'm keeping things tidy right now. Usually I don't, and halfway through I start color coding everything, but for some reason I'm starting out clean. Here we go. So this is a very complex clap snare sound. It's got a bright noise on top, kind of like a snare. Bow, bow. It's got a snare for sure. Bow. It's kind of higher in the low mids there. Bow, bow. But then it has a wider kind of clap sound to the reverb. Really strong around the 1.5 to 2K range. So I'm just trying to think how I'm going to write all this out. So with the clap here, we'll have we'll have a snare. It's like basically a snare with clap verb, something like that. I don't know. But it might be actually worth it to separate these out. And if I'm going to be really anal about this, that's what I should really do. Because I'm really trying to get into the details here. So clap, this is kind of just a verb or ambience, we can call it. Kind of a little bit higher. Bright noise. Real short, bright noise envelope on there. So here we go. All right. Okay. So, again, just listening, and obviously I've missed a huge thing there, which is the kick pattern, but I'm wondering if it's, I'm wondering what that second sound looks like. Doesn't really look like a bass. I'm sorry, a kick. That is weird, that spike at the end of it. It might be a reverse kick, and then with some fade out. See how it looks like kind of a reverse kick? So, let's see. So if I was going to recreate this, what would I use? That's kind of the question here for me. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Reverse. That's just kind of the question for me in terms of what I would do. And so let's actually draw out the pattern here. So let's go to 16th notes. All right. Just on the offbeat in the second beat here. So there we go. Okay. Nice. And we'll turn off the low pass. There's a little skip in that weird texture thing right here, right? Check that out. Right here on this one is different. I don't know, just weird. I don't know what that is, but you know, you can always come up with your own textures. So let's go ahead and so this is obviously in effects. This is just going to be some kind of like noise riser thing. And okay, whoops. All right, then we have that vocal, yeah. And so we have a quarter note delay. Yeah. Let's do let's do delay 1/4. That's a faster way to write it, isn't it? Sounds like we got a crash here too with an 1/8 note delay down the middle. Okay, so crash, 1/8 delay down the center channel there. Okay, so I know this is dry, but so we've got an interesting kind of noise downshifter thing. So effects, noise down. Sounds like it might be the sample rate might be reduced or something, or the it's color down. So this reminds me of Massive. When you change the color down in Massive, kind of sounds like that. Where it gets all gritty on the back end there. You know what this texture on the left might be is, this needs to be right 50, right? I think this is just a kick verb. All right, and obviously we get the bass. So, but the bass is high pass, and you can see that I just wrote HP on these guys because it's high passed. So. All right, another thing we could do is start getting the arrangement going a little bit. So here I'm just going to write intro, and then it's pretty much just the high pass, or it's probably just the beat, right? That's pretty much it. Brown. Okay, and then this is going to be the intro break. Just wanted to see if the texture was still playing, and it is. And I'm going to just create new MIDI tracks for each of the different vocals, because sometimes you want to put the phrases on different tracks. So what's up? And they could also come from different parts of the song that get teased later. And so maybe I'll rename them based on their part. So one thing I'm wondering is anything growing, is anything serving as a transition through this 16 bars? And listen to the bass. So here's the bass. Sounds like it's a little bit more high passed. Sounds like there's a bit of a verb on it. This sounds much drier. And I hear more kind of lows in there. All right, so we're sitting up here. Okay, so the low end isn't changing very much. It just seems like maybe we're getting the bass put into a verb or something. And you can hear that there's a reverb on the drums as well. All right, cool. So here, this is where I'm going to, usually I'll create an edit map. I'm just going to actually just create the edit map, but I'm not going to actually put anything on it yet. What I am going to do is just label this an intro break. So intro break. And I just want to mention that it just grows in verb. Just let's say verbs out. It doesn't really verb out though. Verb out is when it just like goes, it washes out, right? So grows with subtle verb. That's all that's really going on there. All right, so now we're getting a lot of different things. Okay, so let's see. What's the first thing we hear? All right, so we definitely get a hat. Let's call this main. And then, let's see. Okay, we also have tops and a perk. So I'm going to create two MIDI tracks. And so this is going to be tops. I'm going to call this front for now because it's playing a front rhythm, which I'll get into. And then this is kind of there's a perk. We'll call this tom for now. So color these. All right, let's see what's going on. All right, we also have another perk, and that's like a little cowbell. And we also had another shaker that I think I heard, but I'm going to confirm that. That is interesting. That tom only plays just right there. See this? That's why this stuff is so cool. Because maybe I heard that, but I wouldn't pick up on it and be like, oh, that only plays once. That's cool. So it plays da-da-doom. All right, let's figure out where the cowbell is. All right, so right over there. Let's see if we can get this to repeat. So we'll jump over to 16ths. All right, cool. That is where it is. Let's see if we can keep it going. And I think it's playing here too, actually. So let's just see if it plays right here. Yeah, okay, so it's definitely playing over here as well. It's just hard to hear underneath the toms there, but you can hear the little tail of it a little bit. All right, so let's double check everything else here. Just gonna send everything across. Hat main, we gotta put something in. And we gotta figure out the tops pattern here. All right, cool. So it's pretty much, let's draw it in right here. So just a little skip before and after the second bar here. Every 2 bars, we could say. So 16ths, here we go. So it seems like it's just playing, and I'm calling it a front rhythm because of this note right here. So basically here is a beat, and you can divide the beat up into 4 16th notes, okay? And so these are really important 16th notes. On this 16th note in the beat, that's where the kick plays. And on this 16th note, this is where the hat plays. And that leaves 2 16th notes, and this is where swing lives. This is where those little tops, those 16th note, that shaker stuff, where you create the groove, that's where these live. And so I like to call the first one in a beat the front. And then I like to call the second one over here, or I guess you could say, well, okay, the second one over here, I like to call this the back. Okay, so a front rhythm is a rhythm that emphasizes the second 16th note, okay, or that first interesting 16th note. And then a back rhythm is right here. This is a back rhythm, for example, because here we have, this is playing on the offbeat with a hat, and then this is playing on that other interesting 16th note in a beat, but it's playing on the second one, okay? It's playing on the back half of the beat. So this one is playing on the front half of the beat. This guy right here is playing on the back half of the beat, okay? So this would be a front rhythm. This would be a back rhythm. So that's why I called it a front, because front rhythm's just a little bit more, what should I say, like exciting. So if I hear front rhythm, then I usually will call it out. So right there though, right? So another way to talk about front rhythms is that they are 1 E and. So 1 E and, 1 E and, 1 E and. The and is the offbeat, the 1 is the kick, and the E is the 16th note. So the tom pattern here, this is a back rhythm, right? Because here are the 2 16th notes, and here we're getting one on that back half of the rhythm. Okay, we're playing the 16th notes on the back of the rhythm. Okay, so I think that's enough. Let's keep going. Oh, just real quick too, this guy right here, the cowbell, that's a back rhythm too. So you can see there's typically a lot more back rhythms than there are front rhythms. So that's why I get excited when I hear an obvious front rhythm like that. Okay, cool. But one thing to point out is look at the interaction here. So we have, these are what I call punctuation points. So punctuation point is going to be kind of like right before any kind of important part of the beat or rhythm or whatever, right? So right here, this is a bar. So that's important. And excuse me for 1 second. Whew, had to catch my breath for some reason. All right, so right here, this is a beat. And so anything that happens around this is a punctuation point. And so typically you'll have things that anticipate that. And so this back rhythm right here, that's anticipating the beat, okay? This back rhythm right here is anticipating this beat. And so these, to me, are just little punctuation points. But look at how they're interacting. And look at where they, okay, let's start with where they are. So this guy right here is getting ready or helping us anticipate the bar. Okay, and look at it. We have like a double hit here on the back rhythm, and then we have a skip into the front. So this is a lot of sounds right here that are kind of surrounding this little bar, this little beat that starts the bar. And then here we just have this little cowbell, okay? And so this is kind of minor, right? So if we talk about this is kind of like this major kind of thing going on, this is pretty minor, okay? But it makes sense why this is going on, because this guy is just anticipating this little beat right here, kind of an insignificant, just right in the middle of something. But this kind of bigger one is emphasizing a more important punctuation point. Okay, so this is kind of a minor punctuation point right here. This is kind of a more of a major punctuation point. So we have a more dramatic little skippy. Okay, this is kind of a minor skippy, a little more dramatic skippy. All right, and you can see they're just kind of alternating. Okay, that's one way to analyze it. Oh, look, these are just alternating. But no. Okay, this is just a very small little skip that emphasizes a relatively small punctuation point. This is a relatively larger little skippy that's emphasizing a larger punctuation point, namely a bar. Okay, let's keep going. All right, what I want to know is if there is a new clap at all. Not really. That reverb's pretty bright, even in the intro. And so that's what I'm listening for, the brightness of it. Now, even there's still that mid-range kind of sound in here that... Bow, bow. All right, is there anything else that I'm missing? Let's double check these guys down here, the textures. These might be a little bit harder to hear now. So sometimes you got to go back to the intro to listen for them. So that sound, the that texture at the top. And that one's still playing, but it's harder to hear, but it's still there. All right, what about that kick noise? That's still there. What about the noise on the right? And that is still there too. You know what this guy might be? This might be a bass delay. So I'm just going to write that bass delay, question mark, and it'll be right 50. I'm not sure what it is. Sounds like a little bit of a delay, bass delay or something. All right, we got to get rid of the high passing here. All right, now I want to check to see if that kick reverse is still playing. It seems like it might be. Oh man, I'm tired. Here we go. Hop over to the LFO tool. So this kick right here is really just the bass, because look at... That pretty much has a very similar waveform to what the intro had. Not really though, right? Maybe it's just playing on top of each other. I think they're just playing on top of each other, which can be a little risky when it comes to phase, but it doesn't seem like there's any phase going on. So we're going to keep both there. And I'm going to actually draw in the bass line here. All right, cool. And let's check out to see what the bass is actually playing. I thought it was actually moving. I thought there was 3 notes. I thought it was dun 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 dun. I thought it was moving up on the second one, but it's not. So it's just bouncing between. It looks like E and B. So a fifth. Is that a fifth? Yeah, it's a fifth. No, it is doing that. It's going 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here's a little trick. We're going to get rid of the kick drum so we can see exactly what the bass is doing. So I'm going to come to the intro. We are going to copy this, and we're going to drop it right there. And I'm just going to turn on this utility plugin here that already has the phase inversion. And so now when we play these two, it should get rid of the kick because we are phasing it out. Yeah, see? Okay, I thought so. So E, E, B, E, B, E, E, B, E. So let's turn this louder so you can hear it. Ooh, you know what? Ooh, I thought the bass was actually playing underneath the kick. But I don't think it is. Cool, so right here, we can get rid of this guy. Super simple bass line, right? It's just, let's actually write in what the notes are now that we know them. So we have E, and then we have E, B. So 1, 5, and then we're going up the octave. So E, ba-da-ba. Wait a minute, what's going on? Oh, okay, I see. I just got the pattern wrong. So we're going B up here. So it goes B to E. Where's E? There you are. And then down to the bottom. There we go. That makes more sense. That does make me curious what the kick is playing. Interesting. Let's go see what the kick is playing. Playing an F, yeah. So typically, you don't really need to see, or you don't see very much actually kicks being perfectly tuned. So that's interesting. So I mean, the kick also fades down in pitch too, you can see. So if we hop over to the master. Well, there are 2 notes down there, right? It's the kick and that offbeat. Jeez. Anyway, we don't need to analyze that. But this definitely does sound like a kick. And I'm not sure if it's actually reversed, but anyway. Okay, out of the low pass mode. Here we go. Let's keep going. So it sounds like this little texture here has a lower part to it. Not in this intro. But listen to that over here. There's a lower sound on the right that plays alongside this, and I'm not sure if it's part of the same sound or a new sound. So I'm just going to create a new, so we'll just do effects, texture, right, and it's about 30. So kind of a more low mid to mid. Right. Okay, and that continues here. Now, these all could just be reverbs, delays off of existing sounds, or they could just be texture loops. So it's hard to say, but the point is to just figure out how you would do it. What are you hearing? And then how would you do it? And then this whole thing just becomes an arrangement checklist. But here we go. All right, so this whole thing right here is the bass drop, and I was listening through there at the end to see if there was any kind of transition element, and there wasn't. So that thing really just kind of plays for 16 bars straight. Now we do have like a little effect and edit at the end here, but I'm talking about a transition element that kind of takes this 8-bar section and lets us know early on that we're going to be going somewhere, but not really. It just kind of continues through 16 bars, then we have a little edit over here. All right, so we have a new little riser. Could just be a reverse of the noise down one because it starts out in kind of a weird texture. Let's just figure that out. I don't know. Yeah, maybe we can use the same one down here and just write up. So here we could just do color up and down. So we'll do like noise. Okay, we'll do color, noise, up, down. Okay, just kind of like seems to be the same sound. But if it's not, then what I could do is just program one myself and make it the same sound and just use it as an upper or as a downer. So here we go. All right, well, I definitely have a loud, just kind of like noise, splash, noise, whatever. So effects, noise, splash, blast. Maybe we'll call it a noise blast. And that just kind of hovers over the top here. I'm not sure how long it goes on for. Okay, so that's still actually part of this. Okay, because you can hear it goes down the same. They're probably different samples though, because this one doesn't move up into this one smoothly. So if there was actual automation on the track, I would expect the transition here to be a little bit smoother. But you could hear this is a distinctly new sound. All right, and then we have the what's up. So a quarter note delay on these guys. So let's go ahead and do this. What's up with quarter delay? Plus, let's do plus, right? So plus 1 quarter delay. There we go. All right, so it seems like most of this transfers over. Let's just copy it over, and then we'll have to go through and just make sure it actually does all transfer over. Oh, nice. We lost that main hat there. Obviously, the delay on this one just keeps going. All right, let's go through these and see. So this is obviously high passed. Bass is high passed. Kick reverse or whatever that thing is high passed. Let's just call this kick bass, right? Kick bass, question mark. And then there's that little talking vocal thing. I've never heard that before, so for me, that's not going to be a part of the song that just like makes the song. So I'm gonna just ignore that right here. I don't know what's going on there. So Hugga Bugga, I have no idea what he's saying. Let's just do the I'm just gonna call this the chorus. So here we go. Now the question is, what about the reverb? Does it grow in reverb? It doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like there's any automation to ascend. But what about up effects here? Nah, nice. So keeps it really simple and lets that vocal do the transition. The thing I want to hear is whether there's some sound that emphasizes this moment right here, other than the vocal. So let's check it out. Cool, we get that new little wah, wah, whatever that is. And then, cool. All right, so we don't have the tom here. And all right, so we need to add that little lasery thing. Okay. Effects. I don't know what to call it. Laser. It's, you know, it's just like a whoop. Sign up or something like that. We'll just, yeah, right, sign up. Okay, and then whoop. Okay, totally random. also have the effects, the noise effect here. Is there anything new that gets added to the groove? And it doesn't seem like it. So the only thing that's really on top is the vocal, but we can just double check. If I pull up, if I bring this over like here, and we do the exact same thing, we can phase invert it to see if there's anything else that gets added that we can't hear because it's too subtle. Okay, so that tom is actually from this track, so... So it doesn't seem like it. Cool. All right. Now, you would definitely hear something new. It would be obvious. But since the reason why you hear some top end is because the master limiter on the channel is going to bring down the volume of certain sounds because the vocal is so loud, right? The vocal is obvious. You can obviously hear that. But since the vocal is so loud and it's playing with the drums, then that causes the limiter to behave, the master limiter to behave differently here than it does here. And so it's going to necessarily bring down the sound of the drums on this section because the vocal's louder. And so when we hear those tops cut through, it's from here. Okay, when I put this right here, okay, we're hearing those tops from this. We're hearing the small amount of top end that's cutting through because the master limiter is turning down the drums a little bit over here. Otherwise, it would be completely phase inverted out. But since the master limiter is behaving differently here because the vocals are loud and pushing the master limiter down, we're able to hear a little bit of the drums still. All right, cool. We get this weird... That's weird. I don't know how he made that effect, but I like the fact that it's mimicking that movement on the vocal, and then it goes up. That's a really cool effect. Another thing that I really like about this section is this is literally just the hook over the groove. There's no changes. There's no attempt to be really clever. It's just... You got the full groove, the full delivery of the groove, which we actually got back here in the bass drop. But we got the full delivery of the groove and just threw the vocal on top. That's it. And just let the vocal carry the interest for a little while. That's, I love that. Okay, that is a fun effect. All right, so let's add that in. Try to describe it. That's part of the fun of doing this exercise is you got to figure out when you describe it, you're basically asking yourself, how would I do this? I don't know. You can, I can imagine taking the vocal somehow and just stretching it and flipping it, reversing it, pitching it. But then it changes up right here, right? Oh, what a weird effect. I don't know. There's a lot of like weird bird noises. For whatever reason in this track, it's making me think of bird noises. So I'm going to do bird down. And then we're going to do bird up. I don't know. And then bird down again. With a delay. Beer, because it plays it twice, right? And I'm going to call this Sad Dove. Because I don't know what else to call it. You know, it doesn't sound like something you just make in a synth. Someone's definitely having some fun with these effects, it sounds like. Okay. Oh, we also have a little bit of an edit here. We'll just do a low cut. So we'll just type in... Oh, edit. Needs to be a MIDI track, and I created an audio track. So let's redo this. Now, one thing I like here is that, look at that. It gets real quiet before the next hit there. Just a nice little pause so that, bam, we get that smack. All right, so this is just a low cut edit. Okay, edit. I'll go like this. And then we will color it. All right. Oh, nice. You can hear the clap verb right here with no clap. Okay, so the clap and snare are taken away. So we're just left with a reverb. That's interesting. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can create that effect. One of them might just be having a clap that's triggering 100% reverb, like 100% reverb insert, and you're just taking away the dry clap. Another is that he's muting a drum group, but the hat is sending to a reverb. So the reverb's still receiving signal from the clap. I mean, not the hat, the clap, but the drums are turned off. And so that's just a fun routing thing, but that's just weird, right? Just these small details you would never hear before, but just creates an awesome little so it's not a bass delay, okay? So this is the synth delay. So that is very sneaky. That little sound that plays on the left. So he bounced. Wow, that is cool. He bounced the synth in the track and just took that delay and used it as a texture throughout the track. That's really cool. So simple. That's why, you know, this whole effect section here, I always think to myself, how would I create these effects out of the existing sounds? You know, that's what I think's going on. I think he's just using the synth delay there as a texture. But everyone's so obsessed with sound designing everything from scratch with synths, and to me, it's just annoying and boring a lot of the times, and useless. It's just not interesting. If you're going to create effects out of the sounds in your tracks, that's really cool. And so that's what I think's going on here. I think he bounced the synth down with the delay on it, because the synth has a delay on it. And then he's using that delay from the synth to create a little texture in the track, that create a little bit of a rhythmic texture in the track too. But I'm not 100% sure, okay? Maybe I'm just being, I don't know, colored by what I want to be the case, but here we go. All right, but obviously we have that synth, probably a sample, could be a synth preset or something, probably not programmed from scratch. So this sad dove, I think, is created from he's just pitching things around. Because if you listen to the little delay that happens right here on the little sad dove effect thing, that sounds exactly like the little delay that happens right here. So this is bounce. This is weird. I'm trying to think how he made this, because it's definitely looped right here. Because we get a delay on the synth sound without the synth even playing yet. So these sound identical to me. So it sounds like maybe he bounced it, and it plays a 2-bar pattern, and then he just looped it. And so he just looped it across. So that's why we get a little delay here, because he bounced a part that has, that's in the middle. So, you know, just trying to figure it out. Let's keep going. All right, so this is a synth. It just has like it's mostly like a sine wave. Let's check it out. See, just you can see it's like mostly a little sine wave with some kind of like attack. Could be a layer. I don't know. You could hear, oh. So when you hear like that kind of stuff, that means it's a sample being pitched, because then you can hear the attack being pitched as the sample's pitched. And that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing the attack of the sound being pitched as well. So to me, this is probably just a sample that is in Simpler or something. I'm not sure if Detlef uses Ableton, but it doesn't matter. He's using some kind of simpler, or I'm sorry, some kind of sampler. And it sounds like it's just a sample with a little bit of a reverb, some kind of room reverb to give it a nice ambience in the mix and a nice stereo image. And then a little bit of a delay. It sounds like a ping pong delay. It sounds like there's a hint of a delay, but a ping pong delay, but mainly it sounds like there's just a delay on the right hand side that's playing little. Eighth notes. So we're just figuring it out. So it's just, I'm going to write actually a sample sine. Yeah, that's it. And pitched, right? I think that's all that's going on here. Just a cool sample. Just some really cool stereo imaging on that. A really nice ambience that's created. For fun though, let's do this. Let's turn my phone off. Let's put the let's reverse the polarity here. Oh, you know what? This isn't going to work because that is the vocal, right? So we got to grab this over here. Let's grab this because then we're not going to get that tom in there. So we'll come over here. We'll turn the utility on that already has the phase switch. So now we get a new weird texture. What the heck is that sound? Can you hear that on top? That is weird. I have not heard that. Let's see if it's... Let's hear if it's over here as well. So you can't hear it here, right? See, this is why I love doing this exercise, because it's like, what the heck is that? What is that? It's like a sick dog or something. See, that's why this shit is so cool, because like, I would never have heard that unless I did this. And I never would have noticed that. I don't know why it's there. I mean, it's just enhancing the rhythm in a little bit of a weird way. Let's listen for it though. Yeah, it's definitely there. Now I absolutely hear it, but that's hilarious. I have no idea what to call that. So I might just call it like a sick dog. But I definitely got to draw the pattern in for this because it's going to be hard to pick up on. So let's go ahead and jump over to 16th notes here. And it's got a delay on it too, some kind of ping pong stereo delay. Oh, I have no idea what this is. Let's see. There's some modulation on it, that's for sure. Some kind of LFO-based modulation. Wow, I'm just trying to think what makes that kind of sound. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I'm just gonna call it a sick dog because that was the first thing that came to my mind. Right? It sounds like a yelping little dog. I don't know. A yelp dog. Has delay. The delay is pretty bright, and that makes sense because this thing needs to sit on top of the mix. But man, this is why this is so much fun. So. This one sound, for example, would make this entire video worth it. Like, this video is probably going to be about 2 hours, but just listening to this one sound is the things that you know, I don't know how to say it. Like, you'll never, this is the takeaway really from doing this, is like this weird sound. I never would have heard this. It's just a new idea. It's like, what is that? It gives you confidence too, to like, just try out weird things in your own track like this, you know? So all right, let's get back to the synth though, because we got to draw that in. So let's see what it's playing though. That's why I did this to begin with, just to see what's being played. You can see it's just a sine wave, right? And then just with some attack on it. So it's probably just some sample that is at some tonal sample. Wonder what it looks like in the high pass, low pass. See the attack? But it's definitely a sample that's being pitched, because you can hear the attack being pitched as well. And so if this was generated by a synth, for example, you wouldn't hear the attack being pitched like that. The attack would stay consistent. But what are the notes being played? So this is interesting. I mean, the bass seems like it's, the track seems like it's in E minor. But, and then the D is just going to be the 7th scale degree. Then we land on the 5th. But that's an interesting note, that A sharp. Even if you're in either B or E. And E, that's an interesting note because it's the tritone. So that just gives it a really spooky vibe. Right? That's the interval. So here's E. Turn this up. Here's E. Here's the tritone. So that's what he's playing right here. But even if you're in B, typically dance music is going to be written in a minor key. And so that A sharp would be a weird note because it's the leading tone of B, which means it's a semitone down from B. A sharp's a semitone down. But A sharp is not in the key of B, okay? A is. And then if we look at the other note, D, D is in the key of E minor and B minor, depending on what key the track is in. So D is actually the minor note of B. It's what makes B minor B minor. And also, it's the minor 7th in E minor. And so that just shows you, like, I mean, the bass line could be in E or B. But that A sharp is what's the cool note here. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that A sharp right here, that's what makes this whole little synth line sound really cool. Of course, the synth line is cool too when you're jumping down from D. And jumping down from D is a really cool thing to do too, especially if you're in the key of E minor. It just brings a lot of tension. Then you have that tension that wants to get resolved. And then that A sharp, that's like, whoa, we gotta resolve that. So bam, you land on the B. So very cool, but you can see it's very, very simple. So let's get rid of this. Let's turn off the high pass. So we'll draw that in now that we know what the notes are. So and then we have that little anticipation note. That's the only thing that changes this from being overly repetitive, is that little tiny note right there. So one thing that's cool is that the little yelping dog thing, you can see it plays in the gaps here because we have this, okay, so this is a back rhythm right here. But so here we have this back rhythm, but that has a delay on it. So this back rhythm plus the delay carries over right here. And so it fills the gap in between these guys. And so check that out. Listen right here in between. You're going to hear that little yelping dog thing. So very, 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 very cool. So obviously we got an edit right here. Boom, 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 boom. So synth and I don't know, change up and then obviously we have high pass, or does the bass just cut to? But we can hear that little weird sound right here. Okay, but that weird sound, this is more, I'm going to put this actually as a drum sound. So I'm going to do this perk, and then we'll move this up here. Cool. And then so this is kind of like a verse, so I'm just going to do Vox verse. And then all right, and then we got the what's up thing again. So, but you can see where the what's up just comes straight from that sound right there, that verse. All right, cool. Now is that the same tom? No, it doesn't sound like it. Maybe it is though, just without the lows. Ba-da-doom. It's hard to tell. I mean, there's definitely a filter on there, so maybe the tom's just being filtered, and it's the same tom. So I'm just going to put this on the same tom thing here. All right, so it needs to be right here. I'm going to draw in the pattern So we definitely have the main hat. Let's just move everything over here and we'll just double check everything. So let's double check everything here really quick. Doesn't sound like the cowbell is in this section, which is interesting. Okay, the tops are definitely there. Have a crash. I just heard a crash over here, so I'm just making sure that I'm not missing it in other places. Let's see. Okay, so there it is again. All right, so we have two sounds. We have this kind of sprinkle sound, and then pew, pew, and then we also have that kind of sustained pad kind of sound. Kind of redundant there, but that's okay. So some kind of like and this just sounds like a reverse of that. Just pitch down. Pitch down rev. I'm going to color this white because it's the same sound I'm saying, but it's a different pattern. So I just like to color that white, although if I select all and hit assign color, it might undo that. But for now, I'll just if I do that kind of aimless, what's it called, absent-mindedly, then it'll undo this. But for now, I'll just color it white. Could get undone, but of course this is all high pass, so HP, HP, HP. So now we have a different pattern. Kind of more of a melody pattern kind of thing going on here now. So let's draw that in. C3, where are you? So this is cool because this is playing the exact same pattern as the, wow, that's cool. So I've always known that he's had this kind of weird sound in the break, but I've never actually connected this little weird sound that he has that sustains to the same pattern that plays in the drops. Check it out. Okay, that lines up with the same pattern. And the same notes, really, actually. And then, yeah, so this is just playing on a B. So like this, and then he's just playing the exact same thing. Never made that connection before. And then so this note is just playing on the D, and then here, and that's it. And then the exact same thing, he has that anticipation tone right there. And then he just has an extra note in there, and that's cool. That's different from the pattern that gets played in the drops. But that's really it. That is, again, see, one of those insights that's just super cool to pick up on. And I'm sure there's insights that I don't even pick up on, you know? But two of them so far that I think are really cool. All right, let's go through some of these other sounds, make sure that they're actually there. So here we have the kick, the bass. That's probably all there. Clap, clap verb. Main hat, little hat would be hard to hear anyway because of the main hat, so I'll just say it's there. Front rhythm is still there. Tom is definitely there. That's why we put it in. Oh, excuse me. Huh. I can't hear the cowbell. Maybe we'll take it out because I can't hear it. So, I don't know. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not. I don't know. But that's the question. Is this yelping dog sound there? No, this sound is not there. Okay. So this is still gaining up. Okay. So we got some white noise coming up. This is down. So here we have this noise riser. Let's see if we can consolidate some tracks here. So why not? Okay, but this doesn't color down. This just gains down. All right, so let's get rid of that. Okay, let's listen to these sounds. Just got to make sure everything's still in there. So hear that whoop? Okay, let's hear if it's here. Yep. What about here? Nope. It's not there. What about this right here? So that's still there. What about here? Nope. Okay, here. All right, these are gone. Okay, if it's not here, it's not going to be there because he's thinning things out to create that build. So, and what this is doing basically is creating more focus, a more intense focus on this sound. It's getting louder and louder and more obnoxious. And so, wow, this is it sounds really loud, but the waveform is actually really quiet. Huh, that's interesting. Look at that. Doesn't that sound really loud to you? Wow. These almost sound like the same volume to me. Listen to how loud that sounds. Interesting. Okay, anyway. This is really distorting here. It sounds like maybe, for whatever reason, it reminds me of Ableton's Overdrive. The sound, the saturation sound reminds me of Ableton's Overdrive. All right, so this is cool because now what we're getting is a preview of the coolest part of this part. Watch. Hold on. So the band with the swag, so that whole that right there, that's the coolest part. Like that's what it's all about. And so he's teasing that right here. This is actually a trick that I used in the track that I'm working on that I'm having trouble with the arrangement. But where you take that cool part of that hook that gets played over the main drop and you just tease it. You just tease that part, right? And so that's creating anticipation for when that moment finally happens. You know it's coming. He's telling you it's coming. And then bam, you get it. And then it just feels really good. Just a nice little psychological trick there. All right, and so this guy just fades out. So on the chorus here, I'm going to put in just T's. I'm going to write. So it sounds like he's just playing it on the quarter notes with a quarter note delay. So I'm sorry, he's playing it every bar, but it sounds like a quarter note delay. So let's do T's plus quarter note delay, okay? Because that's what he's doing. He's teasing you. What a dick. All right, here we go. All right, so what else is going on? So this vocal and the sustain pad, those are the transition elements. Those are the tension elements. They're building the elements. So everything else is just distraction. And so basically you want to get rid of that, but at the same time you want to get rid of everything or fade everything away like the drums. Why? Because then that's going to create the biggest moment of contrast right here. Look at that. Everything's fading down, getting lower, 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 and then boom. Okay. And so it's just fading everything down puts more emphasis and focus on those, what are they called? The tension elements. And then simultaneously by fading everything down, you're creating a smaller dynamic range here, and then boom, you get that massive smack. So just a lot of good things, a lot of rules being followed here. That's what The professionals do. They actually follow the rules. And that's why their tracks are more effective than the people who don't follow the rules. Okay, we're getting that pretty bright noise as well. So the drums are high passing. I just wanted to... Are they also low passing? Yeah, they are also low passing. So let's add that to the edit here. So I'm just going to write... okay, there we go. Drums HP and LP up. Well, I guess it would be LP up, or HP up, high pass up, and LP down. There we go. That's it. And you know what? Let's just write Y. Okay, Y. Okay, to more focus on tension sounds and bigger contrast to drop, right? Maybe instead of contrast, we are creating contrast. Let's write just contrast. Contrast to drop. And so bigger impact on drop, right? Very, very simple. So that's why we're doing it. That's why he's doing it, rather. Okay, here we go. And so everything here just fades out, fade out. And this is not playing the melody anymore. It's just doing this, just like that. And it's just fading out. Same with the noise. The noise fades down. Lots of fades. I got to turn a light on really quick. It's getting dark. Here we go. And same with the noise. I'm just going to write this because this is, man, this is the moment of the track. So I just want to be a little more detailed here, right? And let's actually write this too, right? So total fade. Total drum fade. So, and also, this is the edit map, so it doesn't necessarily only apply. Well, it doesn't apply at all only to the drums. So let's just do general fade out. General fade out. Yeah, general fade out. Cut to vocal. And this vocal has kind of one of those pickup melodies. Aka baka bam. And so there's so many effective things going on here. So many rules being followed. I just want to say that again because it's true. So let's go ahead and just copy the chorus over. Oh, no, we have not been keeping up with our arrangement. The outline here. Okay, so let's just label these really quick. So this is just going to, I'm going to call this chorus drop. Okay, and then we'll color this red. And then this is the synth drop, right? So synth drop. This, we'll color this red as well. All the drops are red. And then this is going to be the verse drop. So verse drop. Nice, okay. And then this is going to be just the main build. And so I go back and forth on whether I actually want to distinguish between builds and breaks. When it's, you know what, maybe I will here. So, listen to that gentle gain automation here with the drums. So I'm going to actually write this in. So the drums, gentle drums gain down. Just a little bit, maybe a dB or two. So what's funny is this is almost a build into the main build here. But this is more of a chill section, right? So not a lot changes right here. So one thing that a new idea that I've had recently is analyzing break sections, especially. And you know what? I might actually hop over to a course that I'm working on and just add this in. just add it in as a little bit of a note here. So if I jump over to Trello, we jump over to Tech House Foundations. I might want to add this as a note. Where are you? There we are. Okay, so let's see. Where are we going to add this idea here? Maybe I already added it. Oh, here we go. Frame constants and transition. Okay, so I already added it. So basically the idea is that you're going to have elements that are constant, and you're going to have elements that are changing, that are transitioning, that are variables, you could say, if you want to have some kind of, you know, dichotomy, right? So variables versus constants. But here, what did I say? Frame. So I also called it, when I first came up with the idea, it was the frame elements and the transition elements. So the frame elements are the constant elements. They just sit there and they frame, they hold it, right? They just hold what's going on. And then inside of that frame, you have these things that are changing, evolving, okay? And so let's listen to what they are here. So the drums, the vocals, those are all constants. They're just kind of doing the same thing over and over. What else? All right, one transition sound is the air, the noise, because that's transitioning down, that's evolving, that's changing. And then this guy right here, the synth, the pad, that's coming up, right? So this is a transition element. So this is a transition down, this is a transition up, but both of them are transition. They're changing, they're evolving within this time frame. And the other sounds are the constants. So those constants are the frame. And then you have the transition. And so just breaking down breaks or builds in these two ways, I think is illuminating, and it's simplifying, because then you could think in your own track, okay, well, what sounds am I going to keep constant here? And what sounds are going to serve as the transition, right? And for the constants, you can still change them a little bit. So for example, if Detlef was going to take these sounds and maybe just gain the drums down a little bit, maybe low pass the drums down a little bit, I'd still keep that as a frame element, because it's subtle. It's supposed to be subtle. And the real transition elements are going to be the ones that are standing out as sounds that are evolving, because that's what's supposed to be capturing your attention, grabbing your attention. And so, yeah, that's just the distinction. I thought I would introduce it here, because that's what I'm listening for here. And so as I listen to this, there's not a lot of change going on. More change happens right here. And so this is why, for me, this would be more of the build, especially right here. You can even see visually that there's a lot more change going on here. But you can see here, there's not a lot of change going on at all, okay? But here, it starts to change a little bit. Here, we're getting the big change, okay? And so, yeah, that's why I sometimes have trouble going back and forth deciding on whether to classify things as breaks and builds, because this is just kind of one big subtle change that just gets more evolving as the time goes on. And so I hope that was a little bit insightful. Let's just move on here. I'm just going to call this the main break, because if you think about it, it's one continuous thing that happens, right? This sound comes up, the drums go down, and everything's working towards that one little pickup melody right here. That's what it's all working towards. It's working towards one single goal. And so that's why I'm just going to call this one big section, one main break, working toward the payoff / what did I just call it? Pickup melody. That's what this whole thing is doing. Awesome. And I just love that the sustain pad is playing the melody from the drops, right? Because it's just reinforcing that rhythm. And I didn't even pick up on it. I don't know how many times I've listened to the song, and I don't know how many sounds I've analyzed or songs I've analyzed, how many tracks I've made, and I did not pick up on that as I was casually listening to the song. But that's why I like doing these deeper dives, because you pick up on stuff like that. And so I'll never forget it. I'll never forget that now. That's super cool. Cool. And then, of course, what we need to do is let's move this out like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut everything just so visually. Everything is cut right there, right? So let's cut that. Let's cut everything down here. Do I have any noise or anything? Yeah, there's a little bit of a fade there. That doesn't matter though. I just want to create the visual idea that we are cutting to that vocal, cutting to that payoff, cutting to that pickup melody, because that's what creates the major moment. Boom, right? And then we have that, where is that sign up? We get that guy right here. What else is going on? All right, we just have some noise down here, just like that. We also have the synth playing though. So this is now where you get into really some nice arrangement tricks where here the chorus played by itself, and then we had a section where just the little synth played, but now we're getting them playing together. Okay, so Detlef taught us to listen and understand just the chorus over the drop. So we understand that. Okay, we listened to it in isolation. It was just the hook over the groove. So we understand that. We get it. We've already heard that. Okay, that's old news. And then he gave us the synth over the drop. And again, we heard that. We understand it. He taught it to us. We're done. And then he took it away. See, I didn't take it away because I transferred everything over, copied it over. But then he takes it away, and then we get this break, this verse that transitions us into the new section, okay? And then here, we're not adding anything new to the track, but what we're going to do is now just take all the cool parts and just smash them together, okay? Because, again, we understand, we get it, okay? We get this, and so we're able to digest the two hooks over each other now because we've already learned them independently. Now we're going to hear them played together. So super cool. Again, this is just rule after rule. This is just what you hear all the time. And so just following the rules here. And me, I am absorbing the rules as I do this. So let's go ahead and play. Now the question is the yelping dog playing? So let's check it out. I'm going to phase invert things here and let's check it out. Okay, let's listen to see what that sounded like because I forgot what it sounds like. There it is. And so we would have heard that. So it's not playing right here. There might be a new hat. Check this out. We hear no hat right there, right? But we do hear a hat right here. Check it out. Why is that? It could just be a timing thing. Okay, so what we need to do is listen to these two drops independently because there might be a new hat or at least a louder hat. The hat might have been turned up. All right, no, so something weird's just going on with the phasing, so the hat is just coming through a little bit more strong, and that's it. So there's no new hat, and there's no yelping dog sound, okay? So, all right, let's listen to the punk here, or see if there's an edit at the 8-bar mark. All right, cool. And then we have that weird thing again, the sad dove sound. Okay, and let's just copy this and we'll plop it right over here. All right, and we get that little kind of edit on the synth right here. Just a new little pattern, so I'll put that white. And then we get that yelping dog back. Okay, let's bring this guy back. Nice, there it is. So just not when the vocal's playing, of course. That makes a lot of sense, because here's why it makes even more sense, okay? Just from the obvious reason. The reason why it makes sense, oh, come on. Oh, because before, remember, we were looking at the yelping dog sound in relation to the pattern of the synth, right? And I was telling you how the delay on this little yelping dog sound feeds over right here and fills the gap, right? So if we think about it from that point of view, what's filling the gap over here? Well, of course, the vocal's filling the gap, right? And so we just don't need that yelping dog sound over here. It would just be too busy, right? But here, it's a little bit more needed because we need to fill those gaps. So that's what's going on. Rules. Following the rules. Just makes sense. All right, so this is the mega drop, okay? This has the, can't type. This has the chorus and the synth. All right, so that's red. Cool. So that is the mega drop there. Really quick, just want to make sure these toms are playing right here. I'm just scanning these sounds just to see if there's anything that may or may not be in the drop. Just doing a little quick checklist. But then I came across these toms and I thought, ooh, I wonder if these are even over here. Yeah, and they're still there. You hear that? Ah, look at how awesome that is. Again, picking up on something new, right? Listen to those toms now. Listen to them over here. High pass, and then they get high pass down. So I'm going to just write gradually HP down, right? And so this is just straight up automation, right? And so if you just listen in a casual way, these are the things, these are the details that you don't pick up on. They're so subtle and you don't pick up on them. And so that's why this exercise is key. And I credit it for my own improvement. So because now that, I mean, what have I had? I've probably had 3 or 4, maybe 5 insights from this track that I just love, but I'll never forget them, you know? And so that stuff adds up. Maybe it's only a 1% thing, but, you know, it's like taking a penny and, you know, doubling it through the month. I think after 30 days, you get like, I don't know, it's over $1 million though. And that's pretty crazy. You know, compound, the power of compounding. Enough of that. Let's keep going. All right, so we have a little edit here. Let's just create in our little edit map. I'm just going to write HP for high pass. There might be some other things, but that's number 1. Actually, let me go back really quick. I just want to make sure I actually wrote HP on the lows stuff for the main break. Cool, and then we just get straight into the outro here. So let's listen to the little edit that happens. So the synth just goes away. So the synth before would do this kind of transition thing. Ooh, check this out. Look at the envelope of the sound here. so we can see a little bit more of what it is, right? So here, this is just a simple sine wave. Definitely a sample. And then here is the attack part of it. That's it. That's all the sound is. Some kind of percussion sound, it looks like. And here it is again. And so let's see if these two are playing different notes. Nah, these are the same note. You can see there's sidechain on it because here's a note right here that's a lot quieter. All right. So just a little insights there. Nothing earth-shattering though. Nothing like that yelping dog sound. That thing is awesome. I love finding stuff like that. All right, so now we're getting basically the intro. So let's bring the bass drop drums stuff over here. Oh, nice, and we got that tom back. Ha! Say, let's see if that is the same tom, actually. I still can't tell. Maybe I have bad ears. Close enough, right? Who gives a shit? Sorry for saying bad words. Here we go. Ooh, the cowbell. Cowbell was something that was controversial a little bit earlier. Let's see if it's still playing. Okay, it's there. Oh, let's turn off the inversion track. Yeah, it's there. Can't hear it, so I'm just taking it out. All right, is there any effects down here that need to be added? What is that? Love that. Never heard that sound in this track before, but there it is. What a cool sound that is. All right, let's I don't even know what that is. Some kind of distorted something. Cool panning on it too. What a weird little detail. So effects, panning, distorted, Vox thing. It sounds kind of like some kind of vowel-y. Or some kind of resonant probably just a sample somewhere, but it's a cool sample. Whoops, flipped it down to mono. All right, so let's just do high. Duplicate low. Just dropped it an octave there. So this is just, I don't know what it's called. Some kind of impact. It's not really panning. I'm going to take out panning. I mean, I think it just goes from left to right, but a panning for me would be like, you know, an auto panner that's moving it around a lot, but it's not moving around that much. FX, distorted Vox things. So we'll just call this an impact because that's kind of what it is. But let's try to keep it clean here in the descriptions. There we go. That's kind of cool. It just moves left, right really quickly. So fun stuff. All right, now we have no more bass. Okay, so this is the bass outro. So long outro here. Minute and a half, geez. Okay, so bass outro. This is going to be the drum outro. And then we're going to have the high pass outro. Drum outro. And now we can hear all of our texture friends again. Let's just see if there's any other weird things that happen. Ooh. Okay. Then we lose the main hat. Let's see if we lose the tops. So main hat is gone. Tops are gone. Okay. What about the cowbell? Ooh, the cowbell's gone here too. Nice. Okay, get out of here. So we got the tight hat, we got the clap, we got the kick. We got the little kick bass thing. You know what this is? This is actually... This is actually this low mid to mid thing on the right. I think that's just a delay from the kick verb thing. So I'm actually going to take this out because when I listen to it over here now, it's pretty clear what it is. HP. All right, cool. There we go. And so that's it. Let me get rid of this. And apparently this has been exactly 2 hours, maybe. And maybe just over. But cool, so that's pretty much the whole track. The takeaways are just those really cool little sounds. So we had the sustain pad that played the same melody as the synth. The synth we heard is a sample because the attack of the synth changes in pitch, just as the sound changes in pitch. Plus we have that weird A sharp note, which doesn't belong in B minor or E minor, and that's why it's cool though. It's the tritone of E, and this the leading tone of B. But in either case, it just creates a really spooky vibe. And that would be in harmonic minor, though, for B. And in, yeah, anyway, I can't think of any minor key in E that would have that tone. Maybe Locrian, I guess, but Locrian has the fifth, it doesn't have the fifth, which is B. So that doesn't matter. The point is that it's a really cool note that doesn't belong, but it belongs because it's cool, you know? It doesn't belong in the traditional, if you look at the basics of like E minor and B minor, but music theory isn't about like just those very basic scales. Anyway, so that was cool. The A sharp note, that's really cool. That yelping dog sound is really cool. And then again, I always get the same lesson after doing this. It's just follow the rules, man. Like, especially with this main build here, you're just shrinking things down to get to that payoff moment. That's it, right? And then here you're teaching people the hook over the groove. You're teaching them hook 1 over the groove. Then you teach them hook 2 over the groove. And then you give them both hook 1 and 2 over the groove at the same time. Okay, this is so standard, and I just love this stuff because then there it is, a rule that's being super effective, and then it's a matter of, okay, well, that's the kind of structure of things, but then you have to ask, do I have a strong enough hook, right? Is hook 1 strong enough? Is hook 2 strong enough? Do they work together? That's what you got to pay attention to. And the drums are pretty simple, right? What do we have? The groove, we could say, is about 10 tracks and just some minor effects. So very simple track, but very effective track. The one kind of cool thing structurally that's interesting to me is this verse. That's kind of out of nowhere, but I like it because what it does is it sets up the transition into the break, right? Something new. And then that takes us into another new area. So it kind of takes us out of this mode. And so this is almost like a transition into the main break. I like that. And so, yeah, I think that's it. Those are my main takeaways. So if you have any questions about this, or if you have a request for another track, of course, let me know. But I hope this was insightful. It was certainly insightful for me, and I'm really glad that I went through it. I feel a lot better. So now when I go to the track that I'm kind of struggling with a little bit, hopefully I'll feel refreshed and I'll have some new ideas that I can play with after going through this exercise. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.